Today we're going to be looking through some of the most meta centre backs, left backs and right backs you can get in FIFA 23 and players that you want to be looking at. The starting one is obviously going to be my man Roberto Carlos. His new Prime version, very similar to the World Cup as well. Obviously the price is a little bit different and you've got a few different stats, but pretty much a same cardish. A lot of these World Cup cards are almost just an informed downgrade from what the primes are. There's a few exceptions with a skill move and weak foot upgrade, but most definitely a lot of them are coming in now at a certain level the same as the prime. Sometimes it's one extra on each stat, maybe even as far as one physical, one passing. I'm pretty sure that is one of them. Roberto Carlos though, a cracking left back if you can get him. Personally, I wouldn't buy him for the price, but if you do have him untradeable, you manage to get enough coins to buy everybody, and then you want a left back as well, he's most definitely not going to disappoint. Very much like a few of these other left backs. The next one is Theo's team of the tournament. Had his red, well, still got his red card, and it's just phenomenal. He's genuinely such a good left back. The pace on him is fantastic. This is obviously an upgrade from that. High work rate, so if you want a left back that does go up and down, he most definitely can do that. And personally, I keep him at the back. I don't let him go too far forward, which you can still do as well with obvious custom tactics. In terms of Serie A, you've got a few players you can link around him. There is a specific centre-back that can go with him, and also a Leao is definitely breaking through, as well as a very nice Centurions Ibra. So it's not even links that really is the problem. Plus, he's French. There's so many links you can go with there. Pace-wise is incredible. Obviously, the dribbling's definitely coming up a little bit more, and then we have the defending and physical. We could do with getting up that just tad a bit more as well, and he doesn't have no traits. Are you tired of using players like this? I would much rather have teams more like this. Then I recommend going over to skycoach.gg for all of your coaching and coins needs. They are cheap, fast and reliable, but at the checkout make sure you are using code JT11 for a discount on your orders. Back to the video. Then off to a hero in Capdevia, an incredible left back who has been rumoured to potentially be getting an icon hero. Interesting to see what happens, but if he does, then that genuinely could be an incredible card, because more than likely he would definitely have to be over at least a 91-92, which would be really nice. We've obviously got a Team of the Year left back coming in soon, which again would be another addition to the meta players in the game. They normally are one of the better versions for the next couple of months until we get into the FUT birthdays, the team of the seasons, and then we go forth. With then Ferland Mendy getting another version, this guy just, you could still use his gold card. Like genuinely, it's just scary how good this guy is. Regardless of version, he just works. Everything in the game works for him. I feel like it's very much like an R9 sort of perspective, no matter what game. And the funny thing is, and it's the same for Ferland Mendy for the past like 4 years, we have different metas every game, and yet we see the same icons, we see a lot of the same centre-backs, and a lot of the same left-back, right-backs. It's funny how things just naturally fall for every meta, and it's like I say, the same for R9, for Cruyff, Eusebio, all of them are the top, and yet we see gold cards change. It's just an interesting one to see that they do follow a certain pattern still, and obviously if you've got the stats, if you've got the in-game, they work. Ferland Mendy will always work as long as he's got the stats that are provided from the start. Flair on the traits, he is as well a 4-star, 5-star, which adds just absolute bag onto him. He's very quick, defending and physical could do with some work, and anchor would get you pretty much 98, I think, pace, as well as then an increase on the defending physical, and he's had a little bit of a composure update as well. Then we move over to the right backs. We've got Carfu as the first one, as a 5-star, as a 4-star, 3-star, again, right wing back, but can be changed into a right back, and it's perfect with his counterpart, Carlos Alberto, because obviously, as we can see, Carlos Alberto can become a centre-back, so you can technically have both of them absolutely in the team, and that is absolutely brilliant. We did obviously have a Carfu World Cup, which was a tokens SBC, so if you haven't got that, it is either now his mid or his prime that you can go get. Obviously with the pace, still very nice. We've got a bit of crossing, bit of short pass, as well as very good dribbling. Agility balance could do with some work, and that is absolutely fine because we already have great defending on him. 91 on the base is perfect. So you could go with the engine just to get a bit more agility balance on him, and then obviously physicals are okay for a right back. I don't feel like they're incredible, but great stamina. Strength is above average, aggression a little bit less, but the card is just designed to play very, very well. Early crosser, flair and outside of the foot as well if you really wanted to, and he will get up and down the pitch with his high medium. And as we saw, Zambrotta base is in this first one because even though I like the prime, I feel like the mid is just a little bit lackluster. The base just comes in better, more efficient for price, looks really good on the card. A 4-star, 5-star as well as Ferland Mendy can be right back, left back, right wing back and right mid, as well as the pace. Defending physical could definitely do with some work, but we've already got a good amount of dribbling and obviously a bit of passing as well. So an anchor is what you'd want for him. No traits on him, but he's very cheap and well worth a look in. And then we did see Alberto as well at a 3-star, 4-star, who's 5'11", can obviously be centre back. So I personally, if I've got a good right back, I'd whack this guy straight in that centre-back role. Still tall enough to get in there. 5'11", not necessarily the tallest centre-back, but if you're partnering with someone like Virgil, you'll be absolutely fine with that. I think you've just got to really kind of be mindful that he's not necessarily going to beat someone like an Ibra to the ball if he's in every sort of aspect. Whereas Virgil, I'd put him probably 9 times out of 10 winning the header, no matter the positioning of him. With the stats, obviously, again, very good throughout. Passing's good, defending, physical, dribbling, all at that top level, which is why he comes in as a top price as well. But most definitely one to look for. Then we have one of my favourite right backs. Gold Walker is absolutely stunning. So getting any version upgrade, again, is absolutely cracking. And normally we wait for that shapeshifter centre back, as that, again, is a beautiful card. And hopefully this year we get a goalkeeper version. I don't know how many years we can ask this, but it would have been incredible to see a right back Walker go into a goalkeeper. If they can make a centre back a striker, I don't see why they can't make a striker or a defender into a goalkeeper. It's not necessarily conventional, but it would be very good to see. In terms of Walker, the pace is just incredible. Dribbling wise, again, you might be looking, I'd say you'd have to go with the anchor. I think you could argue to get a bit more agility balance, but I think in general he's going to be absolutely fine. Long throwing on the trait, just a naturally very good right back. Same as Dalot. I think he's one of the cheaper right backs you can get and actually has a little bit of play in this game. 6 foot with a high, can be just right back, and right wing back obviously. He's got no traits or computer AI, pace wise still fantastic, and as we see, we've got the physical on him, got the defended, the dribbling's actually really nice for an 88, and you can easily go with a shadow to raise that pace up to about 96, 97 I want to say, and in general a very nice card for the price that he is. 2 more right backs to go. We have got Tavernier as the Foot Centurions. I've kind of put him in there because A, he's under 100k, which is absolutely nuts to see. If you've not checked out that video yet, make sure you check at the end. But 6 foot with a high medium, he is right footed and got the 4-star, 3-star, but he also comes with a Kent as well if you wanted a super sub or just try a different English hybrid team in terms of leagues. Obviously he has got great pace as well. Dribbling wise is fantastic, very much on more of the attacking aspect. Even though you whack a shadow on him, you're still looking pretty good as a right back in general, but he has got some overlapping qualities which I think he should have. Early crosser, swerve pass, outside of the foot leadership. It's a very, very nice card. If you've not got one of these big right backs yet, he most definitely will do a job for you, and you don't even have to necessarily pay too much for it. And the final right back on the list is going to be our man Hakimi. He's been in the squad for a while now, and to be honest, he's been exceptional. The pace is brilliant, as you can see with a lot of these right backs. I think every single one of them, bar from obviously Dalot, who's one off, have got 90 pace. Obviously all need a little bit of defending physical, bar from the very, very expensive, and that is the reason why they're so expensive. But the 4-star, 4-star and Hakimi, again, we are looking for a bigger upgrade, and has been potentially leaked that he could be a team of the year again this year. He was immaculate last year with his team of the year. Very quick. Defending gets the big upgrade. Physical gets a big upgrade. And hopefully that composure is sorted out as well. So we could be on to another winner with Hakimi. And most definitely would top the list as a team of the year right back. This one, I feel like definitely coming towards the end. He definitely needs an upgrade. So if it wasn't for team of the year, I would definitely like to see one in the next promo or two to see a 90 plus Hakimi. As that really would then take him up to that next level. level. We'll start on the other side for the centre-backs. I was going to go to the top, but I thought, you know what, we'll start at the lower side and work our way to the top because we know who's at the top. Kimpembe is obviously coming in. It's not in ranking order or anything like that in terms of what centre-backs you want. It is purely on rating form. Kimpembe only being an 86, we'll put him at the bottom. But most definitely when I say this, he is most definitely not at the bottom. He is a wonderful centre-back, coming in at a bit of a price. Obviously, that is just going to be expected for a very, very meta centre-back in Kimpembe. You could definitely still use his gold card and get halfway there, at the very minimum. Virgil would be my preference, but Kimpembe is still an absolute wonder kid when it comes to being in that centre-back role. He's got the pace, the defending physical works for himself. You could go with a Shadow easily because he's got the strength and aggression, and obviously the composure, the reactions, all work really, really well for this card. Then we've got Tomori, very, very slept on, and this is the point one of them, the links to obviously Theo and obviously England players as well. You could get Tavernier in there with that link. It's just a great club and league to be in, as well as the nation difference. You don't see many English players going abroad or at least having a solid card like this. It very rarely happens. So it's nice to see that Tomori is so relevant in this. 88 pace on the base is incredible, as well as having the strength and aggression, the defending, the composure and reactions. It is just a wonderful card, and again coming in with a price. Now, one that's not talked about enough now, I feel like maybe team of the season, we will get a bit more from him. Eder Militao, a beautiful centre-back. We have seen him so much in this game from the start. The gold 84 was incredible. This version most definitely hits him up another level. Like I said, with a lot of players, sometimes we get, for instance, a Renato Sanchez right at the start being, 81, 82, and it takes him a little bit. Obviously, with the new one to watch kind of upgrade system, has given him to 85, which is definitely nice, but we haven't seen anything since then. He starts to then lose out of the conversation. Same with Tuameni, same with Kessie, same with Camavinga. We haven't seen that next step up, which is obviously planning for after Team of the Year, because then we have 95 to 99 rated cards in the game accessible. Then we need to bring everybody else through. So they spend the next 3 months, bring in some of the players that maybe won't get team of the season, and then we get the onslaught of everybody being 92 and above with team of the season. Obviously, the best time of the game. But Militao definitely will still give you that run out. Early crosser, which I don't think will personally be used. As a centre-back, absolutely stunning. Same as the next one, Varane. Brand new winter wildcard Varane looks nuts. I'm still using his 84 gold and he's still doing an absolute job for me. But he definitely could do with an upgrade. Not saying I'm going to go buy this one because, again, centre-backs can be very expensive in terms of the cost of the top end. So I'm quite okay with my untradables at the moment. But the pace increase, defending, physical, lead to a very good card. And just as I thought as I looked at Varane, the composure is the only thing I really want up on Militao. 78 is just not going to cut it, whereas 86 most definitely will be a lot better play. Obviously, he's got the pace and physicality side of it. A 4-star weak foot's always nice. Injury prone, unfortunately, but we still move with him. Arguably one of the most meta centre-backs in the game, and a brand new add to this year, is going to be our man Lucio. If we do manage to get potentially a Team of the Year Heroes, I don't think Lucio ever made it into Team of the Year, but if we then get Team of the Season Heroes, could we see a 96 Lucio? That card would break everything. Honestly, I think if we got a 96 Lucio and we didn't get any bigger upgrade on Maldini, I'd probably argue that he's the best in the game. I always stand by that Maldini, toe-to-toe, is the best centre-back in the game. This card's having me having doubts, and that takes a lot. When you've got Virgil as a Team of the Year, again, he equals Maldini. Lucio this year is everywhere. Hero, World Cup hero, they are just everywhere. If you've got a big opponent, somebody who knows the game very well, 9 times out of 10, if they've spent a little bit of money or got very lucky, they've got this guy in their team. And that is just a credit to him, to be honest, because stats are pretty standard. Great defending, physical, pace is good. You're going to whack a Shadow or an Anchor on him. Obviously, the composure at 84. It would be a joke if this guy gets a 95 raid card. Genuinely would be unplayable to go against. On to a Prime Icon. The first Prime Icon in the list is going to be my man Blanc. Honestly, stat-wise, don't be deceived. In game, this guy is an absolute animal. He just naturally is so good at a defensive route, and I feel like I saw this in the icon video I did on Monday. A lot of these icons could do with a reboot, because yes, we look at someone like, for instance, a Nesta. In terms of defensive quality, they are solid. They are absolutely brilliant. They tackle, they have physicality, but they have no pace. With these icons, they didn't necessarily need the pace back then. It can be league orientated, that Serie A doesn't run a very pacey background in terms of defenders, and then same as going to a La Liga, maybe the Prem they needed more, but back then pace was definitely not as much, whereas now it's becoming more of a thing that a centre-back needs to be a complete overall. It needs to be better at dribbling, they need to have a good weak foot, they need to have good physicality and a little bit of shooting, maybe they're good at through balls. It's totally different, and I think the icons definitely should reflect maybe not necessarily how good they was, but bring it into the future kind of thing. Bring it into this game. Add a little bit of extra pace. If he was to play now and he was to come through the ranks, could he have 84 pace? It's a hard one to do, and I get why they do it like this, and we still see plenty of icons that are playable, but it does seem in terms of centre-backs, there's only a very, very small hand-picked that actually are meta by the end of the game. And obviously Maldini being one of them, Blanc, Desailly, Rio to some extent, but even then, they're getting overturned by cards that you can get right now. A Tomori is faster than most icon centre-backs, because that is how it works. So it'd be interesting to see how they could do something like that, but Blanc is definitely not to be slept on. Same as this guy. This is what I'm on about in terms of rejigging a card. They've given him an extra 16 pace or something like that, and it has totally changed the card, alongside an extra agility balance, obviously, but that has changed the card just hugely. You play with this card and then go play with his base, prime or mid, you will see a huge difference in this. 100 and something K for this guy, and he is brilliant. Honestly, if you've got coins and you need a centre back and you're looking 100k max, this is the guy to go get, because he is actually phenomenal. Then we go on to Virgil. Probably the best gold card you can get on the game in terms of defenders. He is an absolute dynamite. Personally, I put this card in, obviously highest rated at you can get from him. He is 1,000,000 coins, which personally I wouldn't pay. Not compared to a 2 upgrade. His gold card is absolutely phenomenal, but this is just the best version you can get from Virgil. I don't know whether he's going to get Team of the Year. Again, I would like it because Virgil is just a monster in this game. Virgil, Maldini, Lucio, Blanc. You've got so many top end that you can go get, and hopefully Virgil gets to the peak, the absolute peak of a Team of the Year, because Team of the Season is looking very unlikely at the moment. They could still throw him in, which would be interesting, but this guy is just a joke. And then finally, Maldini. Very little to say. Like I say, in terms of pace, as we saw, Tomori technically has more pace than him. It's not always the be-all and end-all, but you definitely need above 80 plus pace to even be mentioned. The fact that Maldini has the 96 defending, as well as the physical, and obviously reactions, composure, that is what really makes him incredible in this game. Team players on the traits, and he's just number one in everything. That is the whole reason for Maldini, and he is just incredible. So that's going to be the defenders list. Let me know down below if you have any of these in your team or have any of them on your want list. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all for the next one.